Capturing memories is one of my favorite things to do. In most cases, it's through the lens of my phone. I take so many pictures, and I get to capture those moments in time. Many of us do this, and then we often share it on social media for the world to see what we are up to and what exciting adventures we are on. Sometimes it's just normal life and day-by-day activity. Some of us overshare, and I really try not to be that person, but when it comes to my kids and my family, I love to share what we are up to. A couple of weeks ago, I took my youngest two sons with me, and we went to a smash burger restaurant nearby called Beebs and Ash. I had been there with friends and with Neil, but my boys hadn't been there yet and experienced this hidden gem in downtown Goshen, Indiana. The first time I went was with my friend Toby, and I fell in love with the vibe, the food, of course, and it was all amazing. I wanted to treat my boys to this wonderful burger experience, and so I did. Before they opened, we went into a few antique shops and a record store. It was fun hanging out and connecting. I did ask them if they were okay with being in my video. I do want to respect their privacy.
I actually like this place a lot.
Come down.
As soon as the restaurant opened at 4 on this Saturday afternoon, the line quickly formed, and I have to say, my boys loved it, and we will be returning. This month, as you rekindle the artist in you, look around where you are and observe the memories that you can make. Get inspired and encouraged. Join me as I bring you ink and wash paintings from my art studio. If you haven't created art in a while, this is for you, so that you can get back into the love of art and create something beautiful. So back in my art studio, I grabbed my 5x5 handmade sketchbook, and I started to lay down a watercolor wash to capture the memory of the day. You can paint along with me. Just look through your photos and find a few that you would like to jot down as a memory, but instead of writing it down, you're painting the memory. As I scroll back through the photos and the videos, I know that I'm going to include the picture of the three of us, and definitely the hamburgers, and maybe later I'll add the boys in the record shop. When you are capturing these moments, remember that you are capturing the highlights of the day, whatever those may be, and you can pick out 2 to maybe 4 things to focus on. And you can take up as many pages as you need. So when you're first laying down the wash, there really isn't a lot of detail. You start with the shapes. Think of each shape as a form. Ask yourself, does it have straight edges? Does it have curves? Is it more of an organic shape? And don't become overwhelmed with the photo as a whole, but instead break it down into these individual shapes. It's less intimidating that way. This is true for whatever subject you are working on, whether it's people or found objects, or if you're looking at a photo as reference. Breaking it down into these shapes is the first step. So I'm laying down the shapes of the smash burger and myself and my 2 boys. You do, however, want to pay attention to the colors. I always try to mix and blend to get the appropriate colors that are in the photo or in the object that I'm looking at. In this case, I have a dark navy jacket, and my boys both have on gray sweatshirts. I know that the fries are going to be yellow and brown, and so on. After I get the shapes laid down on the right-hand side, I start to work on the shapes on the left-hand side. I know that I'm going to be focusing on the boys looking at records in the record store. And so again, I am just focusing on those shapes and trying to pick up the colors that I can see within the photograph. I'm also going to add some records, just kind of random on the page. I'm mixing black and purple together to give the color of the records. I find this is less harsh than just adding black, and it also gives dimension within your piece, and it kind of looks like it's shining, as most records do. Let me play some music as I continue to fill in the rest of the shapes. At this point in the painting process, I'm starting to add a second layer. These are usually darker colors, and I'm glazing over the top. It also gives a lot of texture because you're not filling the entire shape in with paint. I am also paying attention to shading, so just the shading in the different colors that I have on my face, for example, and on my son's faces. None of our skin tone is perfect, and so you do have a lot of different colors within the skin tone. So if you do decide to focus on people, don't be afraid to just try it out using different skin tones and even blues and purples and things that you wouldn't necessarily expect to be in skin tone to get those shades, the shading and the highlighting. At this point, I get my micron pen out. I'm using a 05 and I'm drawing in all of the extra detail. This is a reverse pen and wash. I did the wash first and now I'm going in with my pen. So ink and wash process, but kind of in reverse. A lot of times you draw first and then put the wash in. This is putting the wash down and then inking over the top of it. This is where the pen can really add a lot of detail to your piece. I just go in with a sketchy kind of feel over the top of my watercolor wash. During this process, it's okay to kind of go back and forth. If you want to go back in with your watercolor, you can totally do that. Here I'm adding some highlights and also some more detail within the smash burger. You can tell at this point that I'm really focusing on more of the details, the darks, the lights, and pushing and pulling the values within the piece. And I don't know about you, but faces make me so nervous. I want to capture them exactly how they are. So I always get so nervous when I start to add the facial features. I just want to capture the likeness of the people, obviously my boys and myself, but I'm just wanted to capture the likeness. It doesn't have to be an exact replica of our faces, but I'm trying to get it as precise as I can. It's moments like these that I have to remind myself that it does not have to be perfect. Same thing now on the other side. I just want to add the detail into the record and also into the clothing. Just trying to capture the different folds within the clothes as I am drawing. Thanks for watching, and remember, when you are capturing memories, you can rekindle the artist in you. They're usually fond memories that you are wanting to keep, just like you would if you were writing it down in a journal, except you are painting the picture to capture the memory. And have fun with it. Remember, you're just capturing the memories, and have fun with it. Until next time, bye.